Hey guys, my name is Nick and welcome to Watch This Now. I am doing full-on coverage of Season 3 of The Sinner, and we've made it to Episode 6. If you have not watched any of my previous reviews, I'm going to have them linked in the description box in case you want to go on this journey with me, because this show is full of stuff, and I have thoughts. Episode 6 begins with one of our main characters, Jamie, who is teaching at school, even though he was straight up fired in the last episode. I was like, what is even going on here? I was confused at first, but he's in school and he's trying to help out that student that he was writing a recommendation letter for, and he was trying to help her, but he was also kind of screwing her over. It was all a mess, and I don't know why we needed that in this entire season. So we jump to Ambrose, who goes to visit Jamie's wife, Lila, at their home, and he tells her, hey, your husband straight up probably beat a dude to death, and she is not okay with it, but she does admit that she did have an affair. That I suspected from the last episode. It's confirmed. And now we start seeing flashbacks of Jamie and Nick when they were younger, and this is something that I was like, we need to see this. I need to know what happened in their past that bonded them and whatnot. I feel like we've been waiting too long to get here. But anyway, back at school, Nick and Jamie met because Nick was kind of nice to Jamie in class, and they formed this kind of connection. And one thing that I have to say that I appreciated about the casting here, the younger actors that were cast to play Jamie and Nick, the younger versions, they actually have like similar voices to Chris Messina and Matt Bomer, which you can't always get the looks to be proper, but like, you gotta have the voice right. So I thought that was really well done. Back in the present timeline, Ambrose and Sonia are essentially husband and wife after 2 episodes, which I kind of find adorable because Sonia is the woman who this car accident happened on her property. Jamie and Nick were totally there to kill her. Luckily things didn't play out like that, but now that Ambrose is investigating the case, he is romancing Sonia, and I'm liking this. I want it to get sexy. And it's about to, because the show finally does something that I want. I want this sinner to make me go, what the fuck? And we got our best moment of the season so far, because Sonia is at her home in the middle of the night and Jamie is creeping around the property. He straight up breaks into her home. Actually, I think she left the door straight up unlocked. I mean, that was not really that smart considering she's been so paranoid lately, but Jamie slips right in there. Sonia grabs her gun. She is like, hey, can you get the fuck out of my house? But Jamie doesn't. He is just there, and we're like, what is gonna happen? And then Sonia, this is when it gets spicy. Sonia's like, take off your clothes, and he does. Matt Bomer gets straight naked, we see that Bomer booty, and then Sonia starts taking pictures of him because she's an artist. She does all kinds of paintings of nude men, and so she's getting her photographs so that she can paint him, which this is when it gets very like A24 horror film, and I liked it. What the hell is actually going on here? It's not really explained. You think Jamie's there to kill her, but then I guess he just lets her take nude photos of him and then leaves pleasantly. The sinner kind of needs to get its shit together. But so here we move on to now Jamie meets up with Lila because she kicked his ass out as she should. And she's like, so I was visited by a detective, told me you're a murderer. What? And Jamie flat out admits to it. He's like, yeah, actually, I did in fact kill this man, but I love you. We can put it past us just like your affair. No big deal. And she's like, no dice. I'm out of here. Lila is the one character in this show that I've been fully on board with from beginning to end. She is the only normal person doing smart things in this season. And I mean, I like her, but the show is kind of getting on my nerves at times. Jamie is back at school doing his teaching, confusing the hell out of me because I think he needs to be unemployed. But then his boss runs in there and is like, what are you doing here? You need to be gone. I've got a substitute covering. And I was like, okay, cool, this makes sense. But then also, why was he there in that earlier scene in the beginning of the episode? Shouldn't this have happened immediately? Shouldn't they have maybe like not let him in the building, maybe taken his keys, changed the locks? I mean, he's clearly a murderer. Like, maybe we shouldn't have him teaching young people. So he's in the middle of being kicked out of the school when all of a sudden his student that I was talking about earlier, that chick, she has an Adderall-induced seizure and she's just, flopping about on the ground, and so Jamie runs in there and he helps her, and it's like, this is a moment that is supposed to show us, oh, he isn't like all bad, he's there to help, there's good and evil within one person, but this is stupid. This is dumb to me. I'm like, why did we need this whole subplot to be in this show? It doesn't make as much sense to me for what it's trying to do. I saw an article, just a headline, so I mean, take this for whatever, but there was this headline about this show that said this was supposed to be a take on Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, which I think could be interesting, and I see what they're doing now that I read that, because the way that it plays out in the show, it's dumb. I understand if you want to have your character do good things and bad things and then explore that gray area, except the good stuff he does is just that, which really doesn't amount to anything. And the bad stuff is him killing people. Not much of a balance there. We got another flashback scene with Nick and Jamie in their youth, and this explains what was up with them with, hanging out on top of ledges and shit, because I was like, I do not need to experience vertigo just watching this show. Get off the ledges, people. But so Nick brings Jamie to this bridge over this river, and he's like, let's jump right off of it, because, we'll feel so alive by facing death. And Jamie can't do it, because he's not a fucking idiot in this moment. But Nick does. He just jumps right off that bridge, straight into the water, flat out giving me an anxiety attack just thinking about it. Next thing you know, Lila is at some fundraiser at like an elementary school. She's trying to sell her essential oil bullshit, whatever, and Jamie surprises her to be all like the helpful husband or whatever, but instead he's just being erratic as always, and he totally screws up this like potential business deal that Lila sets up. And this is where I, again, just am not on board with this Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde comparison, because this should have been a moment where Jamie was supportive of his wife and he did something good for her. Instead, no, look at him being a dick again. We only see him being bad when it matters, and anytime that he does anything good, it really doesn't matter. And that's where I think that just completely falls flat thematically. So Jamie's being a dick, shocker, and eventually a cop. This show is convenient because Ambrose's partner ends up just being there. He's hanging out and he's like, oh, hey, looks like there's that murderer dude and he's causing problems. So he throws Jamie out. Jamie just keeps getting thrown out of places. I'm okay with that. He throws a temper tantrum in the stairwell. He's throwing chairs around. He's being a little bitch, basically. In another flashback, we see Nick go back to Jamie being all, you really should jump off this bridge. You'll feel so good about it. Like he's talking about fucking yoga or something. But anyway, he does convince Jamie to go back to this bridge. And in the middle of the night, and it's like raining and shit, and Jamie straight jumps off into the dark, into this river. Why? Well, because they're all messed up. But I'm gonna get to why that really bugs me in a moment. So Ambrose's partner ends up contacting him and is like, you need to handle this dude. So Ambrose shows up at the school and he's talking to Jamie and trying to like talk him down. And they continue this dynamic they have where they're kind of both out to get one another, but also trying to understand one another. And well, I like that in terms of what it's trying to do. The way it does it, it just pisses me off, because in the last episode, Ambrose sort of had to punch Jamie to get him to get off of his property, and now he's showing up trying to calm him down. Like, can someone just arrest this motherfucker already? This is getting really stupid. In this season, they just keep going back and forth with that struggle of good versus evil dynamic that was so powerful in the first two seasons that now it's losing all of its narrative weight, because the decisions being made just don't really add up to what they're trying to do, which is unfortunate because this show is losing me and I really want to like it. I really liked the first two seasons, and this one is just kind of okay so far. But okay, let's wrap this up. So what happens is then Jamie is all, hey, listen, Ambrose, I need to show you this thing so that you'll understand everything. So what they do is they head to the woods, to Sonia's property where Nick and Jamie dug that grave, and what do? Well, we see, this is where we got another what the fuck moment, which I was kind of into at first. What Jamie shows Ambrose is that he and Nick used to bury each other alive so that they could feel like they're being eaten by worms? I don't know, but somehow Jamie convinces Ambrose to get down into the grate. He places these wooden boards over him, sticks this plastic tubing down there so that Ambrose can still breathe under the boards because the tubing is going from the surface to underground, right? And then Jamie buries him. I thought he was just going to like be under the boards, but then no, he starts throwing the damn dirt on. I'm like, I don't need the full experience here. That is not what I'm here for. But Ambrose does it. And guess what? As soon as he's down there, Jamie rips that plastic tubing out. So then Ambrose is just plain stuck, buried alive. I mean, they can't kill Ambrose. They can't have a season 4 without him. He's the main character of this show. But we finally are getting somewhere with this season, but what I have to say is annoying me about it overall is just the idea of this show is not a whodunit, but a whydunit. And I know that they have to save all of the good stuff for the last episode because that's how mystery thrillers work. But what's really just detracting from the experience for me personally is just that Jamie is all kinds of weird, right? He's all kinds of problematic, and I have just been waiting to understand what is the thing that happened to him. What is it that made him so uneasy all the time and so willing to be flirting with death like this? But the whole why factor is being lost on me because now that we're seeing information about Nick and Jamie's past, we're seeing them do strange, odd things, but we're not getting why. And again, I know we have those answers coming, but there should be more seeds planted and little breadcrumbs for us to pick up because while I do like that I have been wrong with my theories with every single episode so far, we are constantly being surprised. It's not taking us in an interesting direction. I don't feel like I'm going to some big reveal like, oh, and that puts it all together. I hope that happens in the last episode, but honestly, the journey isn't really worth whatever destination we get to at this point. But what do you guys think of Season 3 of The Sinner? I'd love to hear your theories in the comments below because, again, this one is so all over the place. I don't even know what to make of it. It's crazy. It's a lot. So let me know what you're thinking. Thank you so much for watching this video. I greatly appreciate it. If you've kept up with this series of reviews, then I really appreciate that as well. Lord knows I could use the views. So make sure you subscribe to this channel so that you can stay up to date with all future uploads. Like this video, share it with your friends. Again, subscribe to watch this now. And that's all for this video, but I won't stop you from watching another.